Keep Lounge Valdosta Beautiful has several events in the month of October to help keep our community clean. And we have Aaron Strickland here to tell us all about it. Welcome to the show, Aaron.
Hey, glad to be here.
For those who are unaware what kind of work KLVB does in the community, what do you guys do?
Marcus, I tell you, the question is more like, what do we not do? If it's litter related, recycling related, we try to be involved with it. Beginning in January, we head up the Christmas tree recycling event called Bring One for the Chipper. We partnered with the city on the Arbor Day event. We have a spring electronics recycling event. We celebrate and recognize Earth Day on April 22nd. Also in April is our Great American Cleanup that we have. It's kind of all sorts of different cleanup events go on during that day. The bulk amnesty event that the city of Valdosta does is a component of the Great American Cleanup, as well as our Make a Difference Day event, which is held in the fall. And we also do a litter index, which is a visual litter survey every summer.
Gotcha.
And in the fall, we have some of our events that we have coming up, actually. Got a lot of good stuff coming up.
Okay. Now, with all of these events, you really rely on the help of volunteers. How important are those volunteers to KLVB?
Let me put it to you this way. If we didn't have those volunteers, we wouldn't be able to do anything, because I am a staff of one
Yes.
with one intern.
Yeah.
Very great intern, Sage Stokes. If you ever run into Sage Stokes, best intern you'll ever see. Model VSU student.
Okay. Now, you have events in October, the Rivers Alive cleanup, and what's the other one? When are they? What are they? Tell us about those events in October.
Before I talk about those, let me just talk just a little bit more on volunteers.
Okay.
We rely so heavily on those, literally nothing would get done. Over the course of the last 18 years that I've been with Keep Lounge Valdosta Beautiful, we've had 13,336 of those major event volunteers come out and help us out.
Huge number.
Yeah, we'll have anywhere from 20 to 200 volunteers out for any given event. It just depends on, to me, I don't gauge an event on whether it's successful or not by how many volunteers come out. I gauge it as to whether or not we had enough volunteers show up to get the work that we had done.
Gotcha.
So, I don't say, well, we had 100 volunteers, so the event is a success. We might have only had 75 volunteers, but we got all of our work done, therefore I consider that to be a success. Speaking of volunteers, we need a lot of those for these events that we have coming up that you alluded to. On Saturday, October 13th, we have our Rivers Alive river cleanup event.
Okay.
On Saturday, October 27th, our Make a Difference Day event, which again, the City of Valdosta Bulk Amnesty Day is a component of that. We'll also be working with Lowndes County for a cleanup project with them, as well as the City of Hayhira.
Okay.
We try to incorporate as many of those partners as possible. Me personally, I think that just allows us to get more done.
Gotcha.
I don't care who gets credit as long as the projects and the work gets done. And in addition, we have our fall electronics recycling event coming up on Saturday, November 17th. Now, the Rivers Alive event and the Make a Difference Day events, both of those go from 8:30 until noon. We have multiple sites for those.
Gotcha.
With there being multiple sites, what we ask volunteers to do is either go to our website, KLVB, that stands for KeepLoungeValdostaBeautiful.net. They can sign up online there. Also visit our Facebook page, or they can call our office at 229-671-3698. What we want them to do is contact us by either of those avenues to pre-register for the event, to get signed up.
Gotcha.
And then about a week prior to the event, we look at the number of volunteers that we have signed up, the types of volunteers that we have signed up, whether it be guys or gals. We then look at the projects that we have, put them at the site where they would be most useful at, and then we send them site-specific information. For me, that's kind of a tried and true method. Used to, we would advertise each individual site that we had going on, then I would have 200 volunteers show up at a site that I only needed 10 volunteers at.
Gotcha.
This method here just allows us to place volunteers where they are most needed. And the same is for Rivers Alive and Make a Difference Day. We have multiple cleanup sites, and this, by them calling in or signing up online, sending us an email, they can email us at astrickland@valdostacity.com or at klvbintern@valdostacity.com.
Gotcha.
They can contact us that way as well. Again, those events, please pre-register for those. 8:30 until noon on those days. You're done by noon. You have the rest of your weekend to enjoy.
Yes.
And you've spent just a few hours, giving a little bit back to your community. It's also a good way for student organizations to get community service hours that they need.
Yes.
And our fall electronics recycling event on Saturday, November 17th will be held at Mathis Auditorium. I can go ahead and give everyone the location of that event, since that event is open to the public. And I'm not only looking for volunteers, we're also looking for citizens. They don't have to be just City of Valdosta citizens, they can be Lowndes County citizens, anywhere in Lowndes County. Actually, if you're watching this, whether you're in Lowndes County or not, and you have some electronics you would like to recycle, please bring them. And when I mention electronics, I'm not talking about refrigerators or toaster ovens or microwaves. Anything with a cord is electrical. It's not necessarily electronics. So we're looking for those electronic items such as computers, laptops, printers, copiers, fax machines, cell phones, cables, chargers, those sorts of things that folks are welcome to drop off to us at Mathis Auditorium. Our volunteers out there will just be helping folks unload their cars.
Gotcha.
So you don't even have to get out of your vehicle. Just come by and drop your stuff off. We'll have volunteers to help you unload. And to date, just through the electronics recycling, we've collected over nearly 315 tons of electronics.
Wow.
Now let's look at that. Let's create a visual in our minds just from that one event. 315 tons. If you divide that out by, say, 53-foot semi-tractor trailers, you'd be looking at about 15 tractor trailers worth of stuff. So if you can imagine 15 tractor trailers lined up next to each other, stacked up on top of each other.
Wow.
That's how much landfill space that we have saved just through this one event. Well, I say one event. We have a spring electronics recycling
Twice
event
a year,
and the fall electronics recycling event. But just through that event, that's how much landfill space that we have saved since we started doing that. I believe we started doing that back in 2006. And it's pretty substantial. That is just our organization and just our community. If you think of all of other Keep Georgia Beautiful, Keep America Beautiful affiliates throughout the state of Georgia and throughout the country that also do electronics recycling events, we have saved tons and tons and tons and just millions of cubic feet of landfill space for things that can't. I'd rather save that space for things that can't be recycled.
Exactly.
Because let's face it, landfills eventually run out of space. We don't want an entire mountain range in our county that's just closed landfills. So to me, it's important to save that space in those landfills for things that can't be recycled. So those are three major events we have coming up. Rivers Alive, Saturday, October 13th. Make a Difference Day, Saturday, October 27th. And our electronics event, Saturday, November 17th. That we need volunteers for all those. And those are different ways, that students and community members both can get involved and give a little bit back to our community.
Yep. And you often have plenty of student organizations involved with these. You have sororities and fraternities who come out often. And I mean, even at your awards banquet, you honored some of those people just a couple weeks ago. And,
certainly.
Yeah. You want to talk a little bit about that and those people that come out year after year?
Yeah, I will speak about one of our model fraternities that come out and help us out time and time again. Sigma Nu fraternity, I want to give those guys a shout out. They come out and they come out to several events throughout the year, Make a Difference Day, Rivers Alive. They're also a Adopt a Street participant. That's another program that we have that organizations can get involved with. We have Adopt a Road, which that's our terminology for outside the city limits, and Adopt a Street. That's inside the city limits. A group, fraternity, sorority, student organization, business can adopt either a section of a city street or a section of a county road, and they can go out and conduct their own cleanups when it's convenient for them throughout the year. They don't have to wait just for one of our major events. They can sign up. We can assign them a section of a city street or a county road. They'll get a little sign out there with their name on it, and they're just responsible for conducting at least 4 cleanups a year. That's a way for them to get involved. Sigma Nu Fraternity is also a participant in that program. And for the last couple of years, they have won our Student Organization of the Year award that we give out at our awards luncheon every year. And we want to encourage other student organizations to get involved and give those guys a run for their money, and have a little more competition for that award there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Aaron, I want to thank you for coming on the show and telling us about KLVB and the events that we have coming up, and we want to encourage everyone to come out and volunteer and keep our city clean. And we'll be back here on City Focus.